What's up, everybody? Hopefully, you guys are doing it as always. Today, we're talking about a very important concept in chess in general, but specifically in middle game chess, which is stopping your opponent's plans. And this consists of three major steps. First off, you have to figure out when does my opponent want to do a plan? And then you have to determine, does this plan actually harm me? Because some plans that your opponent might want to do are actually good for you. And of course, you don't want to stop those plans. So first, you have to determine, is there a plan here? Then you have to figure out, is that plan bad? And if that plan is bad for you, you definitely want to figure out a way to stop it. And I have a game here which is filled with these examples that we're going to dive into right now. It's between Alexander Aliekin against Jose Capablanca. Alexander has the white pieces. Let's begin. So I'm going to skip through the opening phase fairly quickly. And I'm actually going to go straight to the first part of this game where we see this idea of stopping your opponent's plans, which is actually right here. Here, you'll notice that black moved their knight back to d8. And instantly, whenever your opponent plays a move that seems a bit weird, a bit off, like this move doesn't necessarily seem so natural, it's not like black is just developing a piece, but they're actually moving a piece backwards, these are the type of moves that usually will come with a plan. And so here, you definitely want to try to recognize what is black going to do. And the idea here is, of course, bishop to b5, which will, of course, come with a trade of this bishop. And not only does black want to trade because they have less space, and when you have less space, you want to trade off pieces, but also this bishop here is a really powerful piece when you have this, sort of structure with d4 and e5. It's just controlling both sides of the board. So you don't really want this bishop to come here and interfere with this bishop on d3, which is why here knight to c3 was played, obviously stopping the bishop from coming here and really intercepting this plan. And so here's a perfect example of, firstly, understanding that, okay, most likely my opponent has a plan if they move their knight backwards. Second, let's recognize what is the plan. Oh, the plan is going here, and yes, this is a good plan, so I do want to stop it. And so thirdly, how do I stop it? Well, let's move my knight here to a nice square to stop it. The game continued like this, and already here there's another position where black might be planning something. Specifically, we see that g4 is something that black might want to do with the knight now on f7 and the bishop on e7. And so we ask ourselves again, is this something dangerous? And here it certainly is, because our pawn on e5 is a very nice aggressive piece. Same with these minor pieces, and same with this ability to start pushing pawns here on the king side. So we definitely want to start opening things up and start attacking on the king side. But if they play g5, then suddenly they're much more safe here on the king side. They have a lot more space. Their knight can now come under their pawn to g6. And in general, not only will they be able to defend from our attacks, they might even be able to attack us. And so we definitely do not want to allow g5 to happen. And so we ask ourselves, how can we defend it? And one way is queen to d2. Also, h4 is a way to defend it. And in the game, queen to d2 was played. And when it comes to situations where you have multiple ways to decide, you have multiple decisions that you can make as to how to defend a plan, you want to definitely pick the one that comes with other advantages. And here, by pushing the queen to d2, suddenly our rooks are connected. And that could allow us to control more files. It can allow us to have a more fluid control on the entire board. Of course, h4 does come with its benefits of obviously gaining space on the king side and maybe supporting an attack later. So both options here have other advantages that they come with. And so here it's truly a very hard pick. And I don't know what I would do in a game. Again, it's a very big 50-50 here. But in the game, we did see queen to d2. The game continued with h6, again, trying to go for g5, and once again we established that this is not something we want to allow. So now h4 was played to defend from g5, and now knight to h7, once again going for this g5 push. And so here the only way to defend is by pushing h5. Of course, now if g5 is pushed, you can take en passant and fork the knights here. And so that's going to be horrible for black, which is why here black has no way to continue trying to push this g5. Of course, they could maybe try to use a rook, but for the most part, at this point, this plan has taken over so many moves. It's taken over so much of their time. And of course, even if they get a rook here, once they push, we'll always be able to take. So for the most part, we've defended from this plan very successfully. And because we defended from this plan, not only do they not have advantages, but while defending, notice we did a couple of very important things that give us minimal advantages too. So for example, this queen coming to d2, connected our rooks. Now we have a better way to control all these files. This pawn that's now suddenly on h5, it might, serve as an outpost over here for a knight or bishop that comes to g6. And so we've also managed to improve our own position while stopping the plans of your opponents, which is just the perfect formula for a smooth game. You want to combine stopping your opponent from having any counterplay with getting some small advantages of your own. The game continued like this, and I'm not really going to commentate on it. I'll show it though, because of course this is now beyond our concept of course, stopping your opponent's plans. But you see that here, in fact, queen to f6 was not played, but here black simply resigned because, of course, there's just nothing that black can do here. White is very comfortably winning, and this is definitely going to be a great game here for white. And so you'll notice that in this game, white just did an amazing job of stopping black from having any sort of counterplay. And really, the only options that black had to attack were really unsuccessful here. You see the knight hopping here, but in the end, this knight actually got trapped. And so you'll notice that if you limit your opponent's options to counterattack, either they're going to have to attack very horribly and you're just going to end up on top, or you're just going to be the only one attacking. So white here certainly controls the whole board. There's no chances for black here. And this is just a perfect example of stopping your opponent's plans while getting some attacks of your own. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is certainly a very instructive game here. Make sure you guys subscribe for more content like this. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.